Oh, it's on. Okay. All right, so it's about 7:10, 7:09, 7:10. So the new moon is just about to be exact right here, 7:11 in 1 minute. 7:10 right now. So the new moon is over here. It's when the sun and the moon are in the same place. Where did my pencil go? There it is. So the sun and the moon are in the same degree of Pisces right there at 26 degrees. And it's also right there with Chiron, which is the wounded healer. Chiron is the part of us where we are incomplete, we're limited, or, we have to like learn this bitter medicine in our lives. But then as we grow and as we learn how to turn our wounds into medicine, we can be a healer for others. So there's a really big focus on this new moon with Chiron being right there, like right exactly at 26 degrees of Pisces there, that there's this healing essence, and Pisces being kind of the waters, being like the ocean, and the deep tides, the deep currents of emotion, and the kind of the place that we all dissolve back to. Everything goes back to the sea, right? Everything goes back to being one with the universe, and that's kind of Pisces' deal. Pisces dissolves, and Pisces it's this subconscious, it's what's underneath. So really interesting on the rising right now is Neptune, and Neptune rules cameras. So it's Pisces on the ascendant with all this kind of stuff going on in the new moon. So a new moon is a time of it's subconscious energy. The light of the sun is not, touching the moon. The moon is in darkness. So it's like, it's time to plant the seeds. It's time to lay low. You know what I mean? Like the energy is low, but it's also a little bit inward and a little bit, this is when the dark comes out. There's yin and yang, right? Like, so this is like the dark side of the moon. This is when the darkness can come out from your subconscious, and our emotions are a little more primal. Our emotions are a little more we're not quite as conscious or composed about how we're expressing ourselves, so everything's a little more raw. But yeah, like new moon's time to plant the seeds. Kind of, this is like the journey that we're going to take over the next month. Like over the next 4 days, the sun will get here into Aries, and it'll be the first day of spring. And I believe the next new moon is going to be somewhere over here in Libra. So this kind of journey is a subconscious journey that we're taking over the next month, starting in this Pisces right now. So it's an internal process, but it's not something that we're conscious of, and that process is what connects us out to the universe. These Pisces got the spiritual antenna up, and Neptune as well. The Neptune, the ruler of Pisces over here. We're kind of connected to everything. So Cancer is the first water sign, and their impulses kind of come from the gut, and they trust their gut, and they have these like very strong feelings that come from within. It's like the fountain of youth. It springs outwards. They have these emotional, intuitive responses, but it's very much about their own subjective feeling and the way that they feel in their body and in their emotions. The second water sign of Scorpio, this is about deep shared emotion. This is where like you have to let go of yourself a little bit in order to merge deeply. It's not just yours and mine, but this is ours. And so really feeling other people's emotions deeply, and being connected to people like one-on-one very deeply is kind of the power of Scorpio. So then Pisces is the last water sign, and it's the last sign of the zodiac. So what it does, this is, like I'm saying, it's washing back to the ocean. It's actually a combination of all of the other signs of the zodiac from Aries on through. Everything kind of washes back into Pisces. So they have a little bit of the traits of all the other signs, especially Pisces women can be everyone all at once. You know what I mean? But also the nature of their impressions. It's not so much through their own self, and it's not so much through one-on-one interactions, but Pisces, intuition is kind of global. They're taking in all impressions at all times. So this new moon journey, this next month of going through the, this Pisces journey, the subconscious, but also connected outward to the universe kind of energy will make itself manifest in whatever house this is lining up in your chart. But it's this very kind of dreamy, how big is your imagination? It's like how many fish in the ocean, we don't even know the ocean. The ocean is like a bigger mystery to us than space at this point. You know what I mean? It's kind of that thing. But yeah, we're dissolving. Everything is one with Pisces. You kind of, you let go of the details and you realize that there's like a bigger plan, and you're all, you're a part of everything. The imperfection of the moment is the perfection that we're always seeking. And it's that kind of stuff we're dissolving back into Pisces. So yeah, what else with this new moon? There's a lot of focus also here in Aries. So it's springtime. People are getting like revved up, and there's a lot of focus on the identity and the self. Mercury retrograde is in its shadow zone. So Mercury here is going to be spending some time going back and forth retrograde in Aries, which is going to be a lot about like, what am I doing? It's all about the I am stuff. So it's going to be a lot of self-focus, like, do I really think that? Am I really doing this? It's like all about reevaluating the self and what I am doing. But we got Venus here kind of softening that, and Venus makes everything nice. And Venus in Aries kind of just brings a charm to the self. It like makes, it brings that special little bit of you, kind of wherever that might land in your chart. It brings that like little bit of you, makes that shine. So that's really cool. Venus is always nice where that's hanging out. Yeah, so I've been talking about this North Node, but see how this whole thing kind of is like, I don't know, pointing through that. North Node in Leo this year is all about kind of like following your own heart and your own pleasure, and also kind of stepping into your own rulership, your own, sense of pride and your own like ownership of what you have going on. And all this stuff going on is just really accentuating that at this time. Like, are you taking steps towards the things that you want that actually make you happy, or that bring you pride and pleasure? Are you actually taking steps toward that? Or like there's a lot of involvement with others in these other signs, and then especially in Pisces, connection outward to the universe. Like we're going to be going through this period of self-evaluation with Mercury retrograde here, and it's going to be like, are we on point with this place that we're invited to go with this North Node in Leo that we're kind of not familiar with, which is kind of more stepping into your own. What else? Jupiter on this trine here to this moon action is really good. Really pulls it upward. Lots of helpful. Oh, I'm 5 years old. But Jupiter pulling that stuff kind of on a trine makes it very harmonious, this whole emotional vibe with the moon in Pisces, people very willing to help out with that, and people, strong relationships are forged. And so all this stuff going on in Capricorn, there's a lot of world stage kind of things happening, but then all this stuff in the self sign, there's a little bit of tension here. So maybe, you know what I mean, this is going to be reevaluating who am I out in the world, this Mercury retrograde time. There's going to be some kind of tension between like social and self, with these squares to Aries and Capricorn there. Yeah, cool. I've rambled on long enough. This is 10 minutes, but I talked right over the exact new moon, so there's some new moon in Pisces vibes for you. Thanks for checking out my stuff, and talk to you later.